we have Moose and Nick here, so I can get down to that now.
Uh-oh.
Nick, do you know your ranking this year, or do you invest in any of that stuff?
Brother, I don't even watch wrestling. You think I give a shit about the what the other stuff is?
Nick,
It's
I
fun to
actually
talk
just told
about.
him.
It's fun to discuss, but
I actually just told him the last time I checked when I was a mark was in 2017, and I was like really stoked about it, and all the boys
how'd
gave
you
me shit.
do?
I was like 40 something actually.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool, and I was still young in wrestling, so
Are you old in wrestling now?
I believe so. Not as old as you, but
Great call. I appreciate it. You're only as old as you feel, and I feel like I look really young next to you, which makes my day. So I appreciate that.
Fight, fight, fight.
I didn't
Uh,
come here to make friends with Moose. I hate this guy.
I know. It's all right. So I'll do the honors, I guess. So Moose, you were 15 this year.
oh
So
Oh,
wow,
dang.
congratulations.
wow.
Nick, you were 22. Also,
Oof.
Ha!
congratulations.
Ha!
But now Moose, you could say
You
what you want.
suck. You suck, Nick. You fucking suck.
You know
That's why I'm
what?
taking that
I've
title. That's
never
why I'm
been.
taking that title from
I feel
you.
like I should just hand it over to you. Yeah,
Yeah, just hand it
seven
up. You
times
better.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's number one?
All right, go read the top 10 up. I want to hear it.
Oh
Figured
God.
we'd have some fun with it. So Cody Rhodes is number one.
Okay, that's a
Swerve
good pick.
Swerve is number two.
Okay, that's a
Uh,
good. He had a great year.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay, Seth Rollins, Naito. That rounds out the top five. And then 6 through 10 is Damian Priest, MJF, Moxley, Gunther, and Caristico.
Hmm.
Who's the last one?
Caristico.
Is he
Uh,
a
he
AAA
used
guy,
he used
CMLL?
to be was he Sin Cara? I don't remember which Sin Cara he was.
Oh yeah, that's been a
I know.
He
minute.
I
used to
know.
be
Mystico was
Yeah, he
the
used to be
original.
Mystico. He was the original Mystico, and now he's Caristico.
Oh, okay.
So it's a
So
CMLL guy.
yeah, so that's our
Oh,
top
good.
10 this year.
Oh, sweet. That's cool. I thought Gunter would be a lot higher because he's had a great run.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
yeah. I mean, most of those guys are like what, 98 percentage wins or something like that.
Something crazy.
It's a pretty sweet gig if you can get it. I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
jealous.
So one more thing before we move on from the PWI 500, which I thought was kind of interesting, but they said Nick, you are a comeback of the year nominee.
Oh, eh.
It's kind of weird that a,
Yeah. I didn't
a
like break my leg or come back from something. I don't
What
know.
are you coming back from? The
Yeah.
ass whooping I gave you in Rebellion?
Oh God.
Is that what you're coming back
You
from?
know that ass whooping. You didn't even pin me, dipshit. You pulled my
Yeah.
arm up instead of pinning me when you had me out for 5 seconds. So yes, that's what we're all recovering from. You not
Hey,
knowing how to wrestle. Yes.
hey, a win is a win. Like you could say whatever you want. A win is a win. Okay.
And congratulations on it.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. One more. I fibbed a little bit. One more.
This is all about the wrestling
No, no, no,
magazine.
no, no. I actually wanted to get your opinion, Nick, because you were number 500 on the list once.
I was once. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's the last time I knew my score,
Okay. So I was gonna say,
or
do,
only time, or whatever.
Moose already talked about it with me a little bit as far as like whether it motivates you or not before we hit record, but does that being 500 motivate you at all? Does it?
Oh no! And also,
No.
I didn't understand the joke of it because I wasn't from the business. So it was my
Mm.
first year, and someone was like,
You're
"Oh
like
no, it's
Mr.
like
Irrelevant in the NFL.
yeah, you're just some guy." But also, they give you this big picture, so it's like in case you become somebody like that, it's a funny thing. But mostly, it's like a joke. I think I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't really understand it, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I got a big picture," and 480 people didn't. I was like, "Okay, that's cool. Like, whatever."
All right. So now that we got that out of our
This wasn't the
system,
interview, by the way. This is way better than anything we. Oh, I'm gonna beat you up. No, I'm gonna beat you up. Like this would have been way better. But
I don't worry. I'm gonna try to kayfabe my heart out, but
okay.
you know, figured we'd have some fun with it. Now we'll talk about Victory Road. You guys,
Yeah, baby.
you guys are gonna share the ring. Tonight's the first presidential election, so I'm gonna try to put
The
that
first presidential election. You mean
or
debate?
debate. Come on, man, give me a break here.
Fucking amateur hour.
How does that work if Trump goes to jail though? If he wins, how does that? I don't know shit about politics, but I
You
know he
can
has a.
die and still win an election. Just so you know.
So he could go to jail and still be the president. He
Yeah.
could go to prison. Oh, I didn't know that.
You're
Obviously it's unprecedented, but
unprecedented president.
yes.
Well, I hope he wins because I like history being made. I want to see Trump be president.
Everybody likes
prison.
a lot of firsts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not? And then everyone, the question is like, is the Secret Service outside the jail cell? Do they have to be like? It's a lot of. It opens up a lot of interesting questions. Like that should be a sitcom, but I'm not giving away all my ideas here. I got to trademark that stuff. But yeah, gotcha.
Nick, you're the champ. Moose, you want to be the champ again? I'll go to try to do a little bit of a debate format. Nick, why are
nice.
why are you the best choice for TNA champion? Why are you the best face, the voice of the company? I'll let Nick go first, and then Moose, you get to reply.
That's fantastic. I feel like the equity built into my character, whatever the name is, for the last 19, 20 years has been someone that one can do anything in the business. And, there's a lot of superstars in the world. There's a lot of great wrestlers. And they're like, oh, they're really good at talking or really good at giving you goosebumps or really good at doing these moves or really good at tapping people out or really good at talking on PR moves and interviews during the day to other people, or really good at guest starring on shows, or really good at talking politics. And then there's people like me who are really good at all of those items. And you go, what can I improve on? Like every day you can get better. Obviously, that's great. And as a country, we constantly get better every day. And every wrestler wants to outdo themselves from the night before, I hope. But you ask yourself, who can lead as a champion? Moose did a hell of a job. No joke. A fantastic job. His presidency as TNA champion was fantastic. And again, unprecedented. He, 2.5 years, undefeated, knocked everybody down. But there's a little bit of an asterisk, Barry Bonds style, to where it's like, well, he was the champ, but there was always 2 or 3 or 4 people watching his back and helping him out. And I go, I'm notorious. Like, I am not a legacy when I was in New York. I didn't have anyone in the meetings pulling for me. And if he was, everybody else was pranking on him and making me lose instead to make it all even. So you have this person who's genuinely a 10 out of 10 on every possible scorecard if you're creating a wrestler, and someone who loves doing it, can still go, somehow looks like this at 44. I feel like this is the perfect person to lead TNA into another era of fantastic success. Joe Hendry, if you're getting the most clicks in the world, you deserve to be in that conversation. This is about money also. This is about making money and getting views and people seeing your product. So every chance I can take to get the word out there, that's great. But Joe Hendry getting more views than WrestleMania and The Rock, then you got to consider that too for taking this to another level. So Moose did fantastic, and now he is no longer champion. Now I am, and we continue to move on. We continue to get great gates. We continue to get great sold out shows. A lot of buzz from fans. I don't know the critics. I don't know the situation at all. I know the fans are behind this product because they know how hard the roster works. And I always say this, in a business where every roster works hard, people are talking about TNA's roster going above and beyond. And that is a big deal. So I love to be this representative and ambassador because I freaking am to the business no matter what, whether I'm champion or not. But as champion with the company on my back, Moose did a great job, but now it's time to go a little farther.
Moose, your reply?
I think
I'm the wanted man, and I approve this message.
I think everything Nick said about himself is very true. He checks off every box. He's doing great as champion. There's only one problem I see with him being champion. When you hear the name Nic Nemeth, you don't think TNA. You think WWE. When you hear the name Moose, I'm synonymous to TNA. I've been here for 8 years, 9 years. I've had plenty chances to go work for the company he came from. I've had plenty chances to go work for other companies, but I decided every single time my contract was up to stay with TNA. And my goal is to make my name the number one name you think about when you hear those 3 great letters. I think right now everybody thinks of AJ Styles when you hear TNA, and I think I'm a close second. So that's my only pitch and the only pitch I need to be a four-time TNA World Champion. I had the opportunity to doing that this Friday.
I like that your pitch to be champion is you've been there a long time. Great
No,
call. I love that. So
no,
I guess I should have been WWE
I,
champion 25 times. I was there for
I'm
20 years.
synonymous. I
That's a
mean, you're
great pitch to the country about
everybody
yourself.
know my. I don't have to sell my skill level or my effort or my hard work or my determination. Everybody knows that. I think only thing I have to tell people is once you hear the letters TNA, the active person on the roster you think of is me, and that's the truth. So,
And you made a good point. Like you do think AJ Styles, Bobby Roode. I think of you. I really do. And I don't know that should be determining who the champion is and leads the company, but I like that. I like that that's the idea that you have. I like that you are associated with TNA, and I've been gone out of my way to say I hope this second act of my career is the next 20 years in TNA. So in 15 years, you do go AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Moose, Nic Nemeth, and I hope that all comes to be because I love working here and I love this roster and the people, and especially the people, the infrastructure behind the scenes. Tommy and Gail and Ariel and even Demore when he was here really wanted to piece everything together, have everything make sense, have all these long-term stories, and they looked out for talent and they respect talent's input no matter what the situation. I really enjoyed that part. So I feel like that's why TNA is extra thriving at the moment. But yes, you're right. Whoever's the longest tenured person should always just be champ. You're right, Moose.
Two well thought out, respectful answers in a debate.
Yeah, both from me, and then Moose had that other one. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, when does that ever happen? And
nice.
all right. We got like 9/10 of the way there.
Oh,
we almost had it. So
possession is 9/10 of law for doing law stuff. Yeah.
Victory.
I hold the title. So
Victory Road, as I mentioned, is coming up. You guys are going to be facing off against each other. Does it make it different that you're going to have a singles match instead of this 6-way elimination match? Because there was a lot of possibilities coming out of that match at Slammiversary. We already talked about Joe Hendry and his popularity. Like people thought, oh, it's a shoe-in, like strike while the iron's hot. Moose was a long reigning champion over 180 days. Josh Alexander, you can make a case for. Like
there was everybody. I don't know who this is being directed toward to me or Moose, but I made the case for 2 weeks leading up to it. Every media appearance I did, every busted open show that I did, I said anyone of the six of us could win this match. And you go, oh yeah. Because I said I based this on there's been ladder matches in the past, multi-man matches at WrestleMania where there's like 6 or 8 guys and 3 or 4 of them are just kind of there because they got nothing else to do, or they kind of are in the tier, but not really. And I've been the guy before. I've been like, oh, I'm just out there because they know I'll take a crazy bump or the crowd will cheer for me or something. And then we got to this match where it was like Macklin, former champion. Alexander was champion already, can kill everybody. Love all that stuff. Joe Hendry, the entire place singing for him. Moose, unstoppable for 2.5, 3 years, whatever the case is. Kazarian, even better than he's been for the last 20 years of killing it at TNA. Any one of those guys could have won that match. And I said, yeah, that makes sense. And it was lucky that it was me. And this is much different. This will be one-on-one. And we've had one-on-one match, and Moose kicked my ass. He beat me. So this is a huge deal. This is a big difference. This is a match where if it goes anywhere near what it did last time, Moose wins and becomes champ again. So I need to find a different way to go above and beyond and not just overcome Moose and all his buddies, this system, and know that he knows in the back of his head, he goes, he can beat me, and he has very recently.
Bill, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you know why that match at Slammiversary was created in the first place?
Probably to stack the odds against you.
Because my dominance as champion. I went a long time without being beat, and they needed to find a way to give me competition. So they put 5 of the deadliest guys on the roster in a match with me. And I mean, I'm not gonna make an excuse. I mean, I thought I was gonna win. I go in the mindset I win. I fell short. But this time, like Nick said, I've beaten before. I know the blueprint and the game plan to beat them. And I think going in Friday night, I have all the advantage.
I will make one real quick point. As far as Nick's career is concerned, you've been on both sides of that. Like you made a joke about, or just made a comment about being a guy that's in there to take a bump, but you were also in a 2012 Money in the Bank ladder match that you won. that kind of stays with me because I know how Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow both have said that affected their career. Like they could have been Cody referred to it as the losers Money in the Bank match, or and that's him saying it. Like
Right.
so it's kind of interesting saying like, yeah, I didn't win the match. I wasn't really ever supposed to win the match, but I'm still out there, fulfilling the role that my boss at the time was asking for me. So I think there's still something to be said about that.
You have a role to play, and you hope like, okay, if I can get through this and make the boss think of me an 1% better than this match I was going in as he threw me in as an afterthought, then I get a win. And then hopefully the next time I do it and it's one more time, it's like, well, maybe we can go with him. And then the next time you go, oh, well, this guy's hurt. Let's throw him in the main event. And he goes, we steal the show. And you go, that's the one. But then sometimes you just go right back to where you were. So you never know.
And now you are TNA World Champion on
Yes.
top. So you have both sides of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to close it out. I have a couple questions respectively for both of you. Nick, I got a chance to speak with Ryan last week about your new podcast. Congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on what you expect out of the show. How's it going to be different from what you've been doing? You're on Busted Open Radio now. You have done political appearances.
Sure. Yeah. Tons.
Political podcast appearances over the years. How is this show going to be different than what fans have seen from you so far?
Because hopefully, one, the timing really worked out the best because we were trying to work on something like this for the last few years. And every time I went away, and in a positive and a negative way, WWE either wanted a chunk of it or to own it or to co-executive produce or to make it this or to own it for the next 100 years, no matter what happens. And I said, let me wait till I'm out of this bubble. And then this will be perfect timing. So out of the window, we started working on it as soon as I got out of New York. So just so we could have just full creative control and do everything. And we do fun skits on YouTube. We do Hunkamania comedy shows. We bounce around. We wrestle together, all these different things. We're on different shows. So we wanted something that was fun that we could tie into the live Hunkamania shows and the Q&As and all the fun stuff that we do with that stuff and a traveling like variety show, but also have it to where we're not talking about wrestling the whole time. Like we both have wrestling experience. I'm currently the world champion. I've been world champion a couple different times, 20 years of stories and fun stuff. But we really want to talk to, like, we have a bunch of famous friends in Hollywood that are either behind the scenes, actors, wrestlers, musicians, everything you can possibly think of. And it's fun stories of us busting each other's balls and telling an old wrestling story, but getting onto some comedy show and what happened in popular music or what happened this week and anything. So it's a fun show of back and forth of stuff. And again, there's 10,000 podcasts. I'm sorry, there's 10 million podcasts, but it's fun to have something where you can, we have a good rapport back and forth where people have been, it's not just, hey, I'm doing a podcast because everybody else is like, I've had this where we've been working on it and doing some pitches for 3 years to set this up and go, here's what we want to work. Here's what we don't see happening on other podcasts. Here's where we'll be different. We'll do fun jokes, question and answers. And so many people love the Q&A parts of the Hunkamania shows. And you get more than 140 character answer. You get a genuine thought out sentence that goes back and forth and different ideas. So it's fun to, it's picking our brain and tying it into social media with questions, but also pop culture stuff and cool wrestling stories that are all going to go into my book when I write it next year, probably.
He teased you have a pretty famous director coming on as one of the guests. I'm curious as to who that is. He wouldn't tell me, and I'm just gonna have to wait and find out. I think next week it's gonna air.
No spoilers, but like I said, we're very fortunate to have some very awesome, creative, and famous friends, and they do some kick-ass stuff. And one thing's coming out this week or next, and it all ties into, it'll all make sense later. Yeah.
Podcast one. Listen wherever you listen to podcasts.
Nemeth Bros podcast.
Nemeth Bros podcast.
Hell yeah.
All right, Moose. There was some footage last night on the NXT Anonymous Twitter account. Two main guesses. People think it's you or Oba Femi. Just any comment about possibly making your NXT debut?
It's definitely not me because I'm here talking to you. So I have no idea.
You're at an undisclosed location with a wall behind you, brother.
Yeah, my
it actually kind of looks like the PC. It looks like the PC back wall there.
The background
is that Shawn Michaels?
The background's blurred like the video was.
Yeah, so. It's actually almost. I'm not falling for this.
Well, I have to go to a baseball game with that jackass that you just ask a bunch of questions to later on tonight. So it's kind of impossible to be in two places at once. But yeah, I get all the mentions on my Twitter and all the DMs on my Instagram about a matchup over Femi. I mean, if it ever happens, it'll be great. But we'll see. Right now, I'm focused on the man in front of me, Nic Nemeth, and being the full-time TNA World Champion, and that's all that's on my mind, and that's where my focus is.
Just like you said, you want people to think of you when they think of TNA. They're
Uh,
thinking of you for a possible crossover, so that's always a good thing. And again, I'll go to Nick first and then Moose. Any closing remarks? Anything you want to plug or promote we didn't get to before I close this out?
Well, we got to promote PWI, which is really the most important thing to me, and I appreciate that so much. So I hope I get like 10% off my subscription or something. If they still sell the magazine, is it just online or is it real?
No, they print it.
Okay. Well, then that's awesome. And Moose, congratulations on beating me in PWI. It's like beating me in Madden, so it doesn't really count as real, but we'll see what happens.
oh, Madden's damn real, bro.
Madden's
fucking
real.
He plays it on easy and doesn't even play the games. He plays it as like the GM. So that's a whole nother discussion. But no, I look forward to this. No joke. I like that we could bust each other's chops, but also get in the ring and stare each other down and there's no laughing. That's because we both care about TNA so much. We want the title to be respected. We want main events like this title match to be a huge deal. So we have to deliver. And what we will do is when we're done jabbing each other verbally here, we will get in the ring and beat the hell out of each other. And last time we fought, Moose kicked my ass and he thinks he has a blueprint down. And I'm looking to change the entire game up and lead this on to an even better era for TNA when I win Friday night.
Moose, closing remarks.
And if you want to watch this two high-class athletes step in the ring, go to TNAWrestling.com and purchase tickets so you could get it on the Fight/Thriller app for an amount that I'm not sure of. But we have a lot of matches going on that night. It's going to be a great night for pay-per-view. I mean, for pro wrestling on our pay-per-view. So yeah, check it out.
And most importantly, Saturday night, if you had fun Friday, come back Saturday night. We do Impact there, and there's always awesome meet and greets. I know I'm doing Saturday night afterwards with the fans, and there's a couple awesome ones Friday. I think the Hardys are on there. So there's always we go above and beyond to get the families involved for like the just for that aspect of being able to like hang out afterwards for a minute or two, just to be a little bit more personal than some other big companies can. So we pride ourselves on that.
Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio, 2 days of TNA action. This was fun. I appreciate it. Caught a couple strays because I flubbed my lines, but I think it was deserved.
That's fair. Yeah, tough but fair. I think it's I would rank you out of the top 500 interviews. Whatever Moose was, number 15. That's pretty good.
Okay, I'll take it.
Expect your internet bucks in the mail. They're coming.
I'm gonna ask Ariel for more money now that I'm number 15.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
I want to see you cornering the boss and go, hey, look at this right here.
I just
want to see you going like this.
The list is going to be taped up in the locker room at the next taping.
Oh yeah. Let's add zeros afterwards, money wise.
There you go. All right. Thank you guys for the time. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You got it later, man.